Have you ever heard of places in Italy where time simply stopped? Where the air smells like mold, iron, and morning, and the windows remain shut for decades even though someone might still be living inside. Today, we're going to enter two of those places, not as tourists, but as intruders. We'll walk through doors that were sealed in fear. We'll listen to the screams history tried to erase. And by the end of this video, you'll be asking yourself a question you might never be able to answer. What really happened to them? And why does no one dare to tell the truth? Get ready to discover two stories still whispered in alleys and on mountaintops across Italy. Stories wrapped in silence, fear, and vanishing people. If they're all just lies, why are there records, witnesses, and even scars? But if they're true, will you sleep tonight? Volterra, Tuscany? Hidden among the quiet hills and wind-bent trees stands the skeletal remains of one of Europe's largest psychiatric hospitals. The Volterra Asylum housed over 6,000 patients for decades. Its tall windows, stripped of bars, stare like vacant eyes at those who dare to approach. The hospital was shut down in 1978, but something or someone never left. Because buried deep inside the mold and torn files is what remains of Room 6. That room never appeared on the internal maps. There are no official records, but according to letters from former staff and the few nurses who died without ever revealing what they knew, there was a room on the second floor of Wing F, locked with chains and iron bars. Whoever was kept in there didn't scream, didn't cry, only murmured. Always the same sound, the number 6, in Italian. Giuseppe L., committed in 1965 for paranoid schizophrenia, was one of the few to come out alive from that room, or at least, part of him did. Throughout his time there, Giuseppe claimed someone lived in the dark with him, and that once the lights went out, it used his body to walk the hospital. He frequently self-harmed, saying he needed to blind himself before it could see through him. In 1977, he succeeded. He gouged out his own eyes with his bare hands. He died 3 days later. His final whispered words were, "Now he can't see anymore." But what's even more disturbing than Giuseppe's story is what was found on the walls of Room 6 when it was finally shut down. Claw marks forming a spiral pattern, as if fingernails had etched something deliberately. Analysis revealed at least 3 different sets of prints, yet, officially, Giuseppe was the only one ever kept there. All the scratches circled a single dark stain on the wall, exactly the size of a human face. In 2006, during an unauthorized exploration, urban adventurers filmed a rusted door on the top floor of the hospital. It had no number, only peeled paint and deep gouges in the wood. As they approached, the microphone captured something strange, the sound of breathing, and a whisper, repeated 5 times, "He's watching me." None of them lasted more than 2 minutes inside. One of the team members began to bleed from his nose and was hospitalized for ocular hemorrhaging. In 2015, 3 university students set out to film a documentary on the asylum. They brought flashlights, thermal cameras, backup batteries. Only one came back. Lorenzo was found days later, barefoot, walking aimlessly along a railway track, his clothes shredded and deep fingernail scratches around his eyes. He kept repeating the same sentence, "He's watching me from the inside." The other 2 were never found. The project was buried, and all footage seized by police. There are no official records of Room 6, but there are ripped-off door hinges. There are letters written by nurses begging for emergency transfers. There's a Latin phrase carved into the window frame of the room that no one has been able to explain. Quod residet hic, oculos pedi. What dwells here, ... seeks eyes. Some believe Room 6 wasn't just a room, it was a breach into something that doesn't belong in this world. A hole in human consciousness. Or perhaps, something even worse. Because everyone who survived lost their sight, and everyone who tried to look at what was inside vanished. Maybe Giuseppe was right. It can't see anymore. But now, maybe it sees through you. High in the Umbrian hills, a castle looms older than memory and nearly forgotten. Locals call it the Castello dei Venti, the Castle of Winds. Its Gothic facade is blanketed in moss. The windows cracked, and the doors chained shut long ago. But it wasn't always this way. In 1991, 5 restoration workers entered the castle to repair newly discovered frescoes in one of its towers. They never came out. Police entered days later and found everything untouched, tools scattered, scaffolding still in place, coffee still warm in metal mugs, but no signs of struggle, not a drop of blood. It was as if time had stopped the moment they vanished. The media hushed the story, and the nearby village collectively learned to pretend the castle had never existed. In 2012, a documentary filmmaker named Luca Baraldi decided to investigate the disappearances. With restricted access, he climbed to the castle with his gear. Among municipal archives, he found a series of old letters written by Dario V, one of the missing workers. In them, Dario described a room that changed location each night. Yesterday, it was behind the stairwell. Today, next to the library. It calls to me. I hear my name, but no one speaks. Dario also described a fresco never officially catalogued, a man without a mouth, surrounded by kneeling monks in silence. That painting vanished days later. None of Luca's photos of it were ever recovered. In his final uploaded video, Luca walks the castle halls and pauses in front of an unfamiliar door. He looks into the camera and says, "This door wasn't here yesterday." The footage cuts to black, a sharp cracking sound, then silence. The video was deleted 3 days later, and Luca was never seen again. Rumors spread. Some say he now lives in a psychiatric ward, mute, unable to write or speak. Others believe he stepped into the shifting room and was consumed by it. A local archaeologist, Stefano Galli, claims the castle was built atop an ancient Etruscan sacrificial altar, where sound itself was forbidden. To speak, he wrote, was to offer yourself. Locals report that during windy nights, the castle emits noises that don't belong to wind. Voices, footsteps, whispers. Some say they've heard their own names being softly called. One mountaineer claimed to see a woman at the highest window, no mouth, eyes wide open. When shown castle blueprints, he pointed directly to the same window where, according to legend, the last victim of the shifting room was seen. In 2018, a group of ghost hunters attempted to livestream from inside the castle. All went well for about 20 minutes until one of them whispered, "I think someone's breathing behind me." The camera fell. The video cut out with a sound like something being slowly dragged across the floor. The group was found the next morning mute, shivering, with bruises on their throats, as if something had tried to silence their screams. The castle remains sealed, but the wind, it never stops. It flows through the broken windows, slips through the cracks, and carries secrets. On certain quiet nights, it seems to murmur, not screaming, not singing, just murmuring, ... as if calling someone. And those who answer are never heard from again. Maybe silence is the only shield we have left. Because in the Castle of Winds, the danger isn't being seen, it's being heard. Still think this is just a story? Then leave a comment below. I heard the wind, just so I know. You made it to the end in one piece. And if you want more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, but only if you're brave enough to come back. After all, ... are you really alone right now?